mean, and he doesn't know where they are.
Also, if you're a Republican, Anna, if you're a Republican member of the Senate or the House, are you going to take a vote to hide the Epstein documents?
Good morning, I'm Anna Palmer.
And I'm Jake Sherman.
And welcome to the Daily Punch, brought to you by Punchbowl News. It's Thursday, July 24th, 2025. Let's get into the mix. Here are your Washington headlines of the day. Number one, the Trump administration has lost control of Congress when it comes to the Epstein saga. Number two, the brewing fight in Georgia to be the Senate Republican candidate. And number three, the Trump administration's redistricting efforts hit Missouri. All right, Jake, let's get into it. We have a really interesting top because for so much of Donald Trump's second term, we have focused on how he has basically had absolute control in a way and used the levers of the White House and to basically get and bend Congress to his will, particularly Republicans, both the House and Senate. But when it comes to the Jeffrey Epstein saga, now we are seeing Congress go in a very different direction.
Well, you know, it's funny that you mentioned the top because I wrote a different top yesterday and I spent about 90 minutes on it until Brez texted me and said, "Don't hate me." And I was like, oh, I hate myself right now for doing this too early.
Welcome to the inner workings of Punchbowl News.
Jesus. It was so annoying. I was so annoyed at myself and mostly at him, but there's nothing new on either of those things.
No.
Not only, Anna, is the House voting, the House is voting for subpoenas. The House Oversight Committee is issuing subpoenas on Epstein with Democrats. I mean, like, they are just not only rebuffing, just completely brushing aside any suggestion from the president to move on from the Epstein matter. It's stunning to me. They have now subpoenaed the Epstein files directly from DOJ. Those are the documents that the White House really seems to not want to. I don't know if they want to release or not. So whatever. The Epstein files have been subpoenaed by the House Oversight Committee. In addition to that, Tim Burchett of Tennessee has successfully gotten oversight to subpoena, I always screw up her name, but Ghislaine Maxwell is how you pronounce it, the Epstein associate, girlfriend, I don't know what you are meant to call her, who is serving a 20-year sentence in federal prison in Tallahassee. They will interview Ms. Maxwell on August 11th in Tallahassee. So this is not only a political embarrassment for Trump, it's a practical issue for Republicans. Why? Because as we've been saying, by not voting on that resolution and keeping this issue alive, they are keeping it alive for at least another couple months.
Well, and Jake, this has been mostly a House issue so far, but it is now becoming a Senate issue. The Senate Judiciary Committee is scheduled to consider several bills and U.S. attorney nominations during a business meeting this morning. We write, Judiciary Committee Chair Chuck Grassley was polling the panel's Republican members Wednesday night to see if they would stick with him to try to defeat Democrats expected to offer at least one Epstein amendment. And he doesn't know where they are.
Also, if you're a Republican, Anna, if you're a Republican member of the Senate or the House, are you going to take a vote to hide the Epstein documents? Yes, it's a decade-old and in many ways older sex trafficking, horrible, sordid case. And are you going to vote against that because Trump tells you to? Trump isn't facing your voters again. You're facing your voters. Not you, Anna. You're not facing any voters that I know of.
No, I hope not. But I do think that when you think about this, it is, to your point, this is pure politics. You also have a lot of Republicans who for years have followed Trump and his allies' lead on podcasts, talk radio, cable news, talking about release the files. And now they have the opportunity with power in Washington to do it. And I think it's making a lot of people, when you talk to them, uncomfortable to feel like they're taking on water over Jeffrey Epstein. That's the problem here. And I think the biggest issue, I mean, and we'll zoom out because I actually think the bottom of the top here is really, really an important point. Is this, the House left early because they were hoping, okay, the August recess will take some time. It'll be a reset. We can move forward. As you say, this is not going to go if we're subpoenaed people. And by the way, I mean, if Congress is subpoenaing people and they are going to keep this going, I mean, this is not going away. And as much as the Trump administration tries to turn the page or move on to other potential culture wars or scandals or things that they want to focus on proactively, like selling the big, beautiful bill, it is not as salient in terms of a political issue about what people are talking about. And that is a bigger problem, right? When you look at their messaging problems right now.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the one big beautiful bill is polling like trash. Immigration's a problem. Trump's approval rating on the economy is underwater by 11 points. Now, we'll end it on this, Anna, and we'll just say here, don't know how it's going to go, but Trump is visiting the Fed today, where he has said that cost overruns at the Fed's building. I don't know if it's actually on Constitution. I always see it from, it's on Constitution. He's not happy. The White House has suggested that he could fire Powell over it, and he has said he won't, but who knows? I mean, I don't know tough to keep track of what he said. 4:00, he's going to the Fed. Is he going to try to change the conversation? And does that even work anymore, to be honest with you? So you fire Powell, you get a new, and by the way, I think I've written this at some point as a side note. If you fire, first of all, Powell has 8 months left in his term. If you fire Powell today and name a nominee in the next, I don't know, week, it's going to take Congress a month at least to get this done, to get him or her confirmed, at least. And that's after you get the paperwork done. So, you'll imagine keeping senators here for another month. God, Andrew will just, he might actually love it, but we'll have a lot to write about. We already do have a lot to write about, I guess.
All right, Jake, let's move on to the number 2 story of the morning. Georgia. The Republicans had hoped that Brian Kemp, the governor, very popular Republican, would step up and run for Senate as they try to oust Jon Ossoff in that seat. But that hasn't happened. Now there are multiple Republicans entering the fray. This is getting more complicated for Georgia Republicans by the day.
Let's just say that Georgia, the White House and President Trump and the NRSC and every Senate Republican do not have the candidate they want in Georgia. There's 4 candidates. I don't know that they want any of them. Mike Collins, Derek Dooley, Buddy Carter, John King, 2 congressmen, and 2 other folks in a kind of a battle between the Trump-aligned conservatives, Kemp-aligned conservatives, and I was thinking about this in the top that I originally wrote yesterday. They don't have their candidate in Georgia. They don't have a candidate really in North Carolina. Democrats have their candidate in North Carolina, Roy Cooper, or Cupper, I guess is how he pronounces it, is going to announce next week. That's what we reported yesterday, and others reported. Axios scooped that yesterday. And in Georgia, they don't have their candidate. So, I just think that's not great for Senate Republicans.
Certainly not. And as long as this goes on longer and longer, that takes up a ton of money. It takes up a ton of time. It allows Ossoff to continue to really kind of make the message there in the state about what he's doing and fighting against Trump. We'll have to see who they actually settle on as a candidate. Let's move on to the number 3 story of the morning. We have been talking a ton on here and reporting a lot. Ali Mutnick has just been such a tremendous reporter when it comes to these stories. But now, we started talking about Texas and Republicans looking to redistrict there. Okay, then the Democrats answered on California potentially. And then we laid out all these different states that, that we were hearing more and more of potential other opportunities for Republicans to kind of change the map. And they have now settled on Missouri. His political team, that's Trump's political team, is urging Republicans to redraw Missouri's congressional map to net a seat by targeting Democratic Representative Emanuel Cleaver. Right now, that's an 8-2 Republican to 2 Democratic districts, and they want to make it a 7-1 state.
Correct. And that might not seem like a big change, but it is. When the House comes down to 1 or 2 or 3 seats every year, or at least in recent years, this is a big deal. And Bob Onder, who was in the State House in 2022, he was a senator in 2022, was at the White House. By the way, when he was in Jefferson City as a state senator, he was big on the redistricting stuff and fought for a 7-1 map when he was in the state Senate. He didn't win that fight. He says the president's serious about it. I know that the White House is serious about it. This would involve cracking Kansas City, a Democratic district represented, as you said, by Emanuel Cleaver, a longtime House Democrat, and spreading those Democratic voters among other Republican districts. And Wesley Bell would be the only Democrat in this configuration left in the House from Missouri. His district in St. Louis is protected by the Voting Rights Act. Obviously, a lot harder in that circumstance to change it. The big point here is Trump is not stopping with Texas, and we knew that. We reported that. But Missouri is one of those states that Republicans think they can get more seats out of, and they have a Republican governor. They have a legislature that is at least theoretically open to it, that Anders said he's in touch with, and it's a big deal, Anna. It's a big deal because they are, someone put it to me like this yesterday, voters aren't choosing their members are choosing their voters.
Interesting enough. We will have to see, of course, as you mentioned, that was tried once before for the 7-1 map configuration in Missouri was unsuccessful. To move forward in Missouri, the governor would have to call a special session, and we'd have to see if the Missouri Senate Republicans have a better shot this time around, with the key figure change being Donald Trump. All right, we're going to leave it there. Thanks so much for listening. We appreciate it. If you like the Daily Punch, share it on social media. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Just search Punchbowl News. And as always, you can go deeper on all these stories and more and see what the actual top is, not just the top Jake wanted to write every day, by going to punchbowl.news and signing up for our free morning newsletter. Have a great day and stay safe, everybody.